are you looking up tonight? Mulling under the moonlight. Never thought to let it go. Soul searching out of your window. Days, never sleep unless your head's by mine. Holding on to what we call divine. Do you think we're running out of time? Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Daylight rushes in over your emerald eyes. Guess that means that we're all out of time. Like a dream, you only come out at night. Am I crazy? Watch the sun as it's fading. Can't believe I'm waiting around on you. So complicated. I thought that you would leave it, yet here we are under the moon. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first installment of LBins on the LNobbins YouTube channel. It's been a long time coming. I have had this scene set up for literally months. This is the first time it is being used. We normally have the rival scene with the red. This is the first time we've got the lovely blue plexus background, and the idea is it is an LBins scene. In today's show, we are going to be discussing the match, which, in case you didn't realise, has just transpired.
No, you lie. You told me we were discussing transfers.
Oh no!
You got me here on false pretenses.
Oh, not again. Oh, what an L. Yeah, so the game itself, what we thought about it from a tactical perspective, also just like a general perspective as well. What were our thoughts on it? Were we happy? Should I be more upset than I actually am? I haven't quite don't quite know how LB feels about that. My chat was telling me that LB was getting extremely angry, and whereas I was just over here chilling, like, hey, I'm enjoying the football, man. So we're going to be chatting about. So I wonder how much we will disagree. Maybe the conclusion will be the exact same. We shall see. Thank you to everyone who joined from LB's show, of course. Here we've got LBins on the Nobbins channel. Absolutely. Should call this one Nobblins. I don't think so, Steve, but thank you for the suggestion. And yeah, LBins. I mean, Harry Harvey says LBins bottled the game again, but LB, you're here, mate. Finally.
Yeah, you finally invited me onto your channel.
Mm.
I thought it was not worthy. I've been doing L-Bins on my channel for what, a year? And I've said, how many times have I said to you, I'll come on your channel whenever you want. Just let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know. And the funniest thing is, chat, yeah, he asked me today for the first time, and I almost had to decline because I was going to do another show on my channel. I was like, nah, I'll pass that tomorrow. But yeah, thank you for having me on.
Of course, no, of course, absolutely. As always, guys, you know, this normally would be my, well, indeed, it is still the Post-Mortem, but, you know, the idea of these shows, as always, it's a conversational show, so please feel free to get your thoughts, comments in the chat. We'll be every now and then coming to the chat to get your thoughts on it. I mean, you know, Tom here saying it's an emergency stream, bruh. I mean, so your thoughts, LB, on the match, before I spoil what, I mean, I think I already have spoiled how I felt about it because I've said I wasn't too down about it. What were your thoughts at the end of the first half, end of the second half. It just before we get into like the meat of the actual game.
Okay.
How did you find it?
Okay, so I'll just summarize it how it's easy for me to summarize it, right? Positives. Let's start off with the positives. We are now attacking better as a team. Yeah, we saw that against West Ham. Yeah, I'm not reading into Salford. Yeah, because that's just pointless. They're a League Two team. West Ham, we attack better. Yeah, today we attack better. Because one of the problems that we have is in this team, like going back 4 or 5 weeks, and this is the truth, our attack was poor, our midfield was poor, and our defence was poor. That's the truth. And that's why we won hardly any games in 15 or whatever it was. Like one win in 12, one win in 13. It's because all 3 areas of the football pitch, we were poor, incompetent in all 3 areas. Yeah? Stop being negative. It's the truth. Now, out of the 3 areas, for me, attack, we are now starting to see improvements. So we're down to 2 problems now. Our defence and our midfield. Today, yes, our attack was still a problem because they're still missing chances, but they're creating chances which they weren't doing before, and we scored 2 goals. You cannot continue to be a side that has to score 3 goals. And whilst, yes, people are 100% right to say the attack missed chances, 2 goals for a top team like Manchester City against Brentford should be enough to win a football match. So we have to look at our defence and we have to look at our midfield. Our box defending is shambolic. And I don't know if you've seen it, but we are now officially the worst team in the Premier League.
Is that from Mark's stats? Yeah.
Yeah, from the stats. We are now officially the worst team in the Premier League out of all 20 teams at box defending, which is heading the ball away from crosses and blocking shots. Officially. You can't argue with that. We're the worst team in the Premier League. This is not opinions. This is not negativity. It's the facts. Yeah? Our midfield is atrocious. Bernardo, I don't know what he does on the ball. Yeah? And Kovacic, as good as he is on the ball, he's absolutely fantastic, by the way. Off the ball, he's only just a little bit better than Gundogan. So they're just getting cooked on the reg. And that basically sums it up. We have to rely on the opposition being completely wasteful in front of goal to win football matches, which is what happened against Leicester. Because they should have scored a couple of goals and they completely missed it. Remember, Jamie Vardy missed a shot from 3 yards.
Yes.
West Ham should have been 3 or 4-0 up after 20 minutes. That's the truth. And today, actually, even before they scored the 2 goals, they had plenty of half chances that they could have done, last-ditch blocks and that they could have scored. So the good news is we're improving our attack. The bad news is our defence is still as bad as it has been in this run, and our midfielders show no signs of improvement. And Pep doesn't seem to want to accept that Gundogan is just not. He's just so bad. When he goes on the pitch, he can't move. This is not Gundo hate. Far from it. He's on the back of his shirt. I think he's one of the greatest players that's played for City. I think he should have a statue outside the Etihad Stadium because he captained the treble side.
Yes.
Doesn't mean I have to say that he's good enough to play for our football club anymore. Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, Mike Summerby will still be in the squad. Yeah. We can't play him. And that for me, when he made that sub, I said it in the watch-along. I said, oh God, that's not good. And I think for me, if he doesn't put that sub on, I think we win the game. Because basically what happened was, because people say, hang on a minute, it had nothing to do with the goals. No. You need to scroll back. If he wasn't on the pitch, we could have had a player that was pressing them. And we just let them cross the ball in. So that's where I'm saying. So yeah, positives are our attack's improving. Negatives are our defence is still trash. Our midfield's still trash. And without signings, it won't improve.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because the defence ain't going to change. The midfield ain't going to change. The only thing that can change is we can get better going forwards. And today, we were better going forwards. We could still have scored a couple of more goals here and there. But certainly in respect of like chance creation, and indeed in some finishing instances, there was a marked improvement there. So that's what I was happy with. So it seems like, to be fair, it seems like you're not as down on the game as I thought you were based on what my chat were saying about going back and forth. So to be fair, I think we do agree to an extent, because my take on it was even the first half. Again, don't know what your thoughts were in the first half. I thought the first half performance was good. Was it great? Was it like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10? No. But you sort of have to view the game through the lens of what City are right now in respect of this season, and respect of the run that we have been on. And the reality is that if this game happened, you know, a month or two ago, we'd probably lose that game and probably lose it convincingly because we would concede a number of chances, a number of more goals, and we probably wouldn't be able to score those goals. So I'm personally looking at it as a really positive performance, to be honest with you, overall, and again, based on the context of the wider context of the terrible run we have been on. Again, first half I thought it was good. I had loads of people in my chat saying this player was bad, and that player was bad, and that player was bad. I didn't know what game they were watching, to be honest. I thought that it was fine. You know, were they pulling up trees? No. But I thought overall it was actually fine. Just before I move on, we had a super chat from Miami Snoopy, and your fortune, Miami Snoopy, a dream you have will come true. That's what the fortune cookie says. So if your dream is for City to get 3 points against Ipswich, then that's hopefully going to be coming true shortly. Yeah, I thought the first half was good.
What about if his dream's a nightmare and we get beat 5-0?
Well, we need to, everyone, you know, pray in the chat right now. Snoopy needs to have a good dream tonight, not a nightmare. He needs to dream about a City 3 points, yeah, rather than getting battered against Ipswich and Liam Delap, you know, scoring a couple and then shushing the away fans. Yeah, so that's what we need for Snoopy to have a great dream and that. But yeah, I just couldn't really believe what a lot of my chat was saying. They were saying, yo, Nunes was terrible, Foden was terrible, Savio was terrible.
No, far from it. Nunes actually had a really good game.
He did.
Well, a really good game. He was good. He was all right. Defensively, he's going to get caught out in the defensive positional because he's not a defender. So he's not going to have the positional awareness of where to be at every time because he's not a defender. So he's going to get caught out once or twice. But on the ball, he was all right. Unbelievable. He should have scored, of course, before he decided to cut in on his left, which was weird. But a lot of the performances were all right. There was only a few performances which were below par. I had to call Akanji out for the winner, for the equaliser. Yes. I think that's absolutely shocking from him. Shocking. And the thing is, what's annoying is I actually think he had a really good game up until that point. Now, he's arguably to blame for the first goal as well, because he just walked Visser in, right? But on the ball, I thought he was fantastic. But both goals he had a hand in, and the second goal in particular, you know, it's just poor. He's got to go and win that, man. Ake was brilliant. Gvardiol was okay. I thought Savio was good. Foden was good and got the 2 goals. KDB ran the show. Haaland missed 2 chances, which he needs to do better for me, but his hold-up play was decent. Ortega, bit sus. I don't think he's good enough to be number 1.
No.
But there's only maybe 3 players on the pitch who played badly. And that's objective. The rest of them played okay. It's just the moments. Yeah. We're a moments team, especially when it comes to defending. We have these moments where our defending is just so bad. And that's what's costing us. We play okay. We're not playing great, but we played okay. We should be winning this game. But we defend like that. We've now dropped 2 points. And that's what's going to cost us. And people need to get their head out of the sand, mate. Top 4 is a serious risk here. Serious risk. We've got Ipswich next. And then our fixtures after that are horrible. And we've won 4 games against the top 6 in the last 18 months. 4. And after that, by the way, we've got 9 games after that run. So after the run ends of fixtures, we have 9 games left, right? We're probably going to have to win the majority of them to get the top 4, unless we do a madness in this run. And by the way, in that 9, we still play Villa and the Man United.
No, yeah, it's not ideal. So this is where like the disagreement happens, you know, with the chat, for example. Like Paul here, shout out Paul, says, "Stop rewriting history. Nunes was okay at best." So I'm going to hard disagree, to be honest. You know, like people were saying, for example, the first half he was just bad, and I think that's because of that one time where he should have found Haaland, you know, like that really good run. I think that Foden and De Bruyne combined really well together. And so Foden found De Bruyne finds Nunes, Nunes charges, Nunes should do better with the pass to Haaland. But apart from that, yeah, he was really good. And you've also got to bear in mind, this is a midfielder playing at right back. And he's played how many games at right back in his career? And we're just throwing him in and asking him to do that against Brentford, who are like one of the more physical sides in the league. And people will say, well, you know, he should have done better with that chance. He should have done better with that chance, but at least he was in that chance. At least he got to that point where he could, you know, at least try to create that chance. And the second half as well, again, he wasn't perfect, but I'm just not having that the Nunes had a bad game. Same with like.
No, he didn't. He was all right. He was lacking confidence, wasn't he? But like, he was all right. He didn't. He wasn't. It wasn't
And
an
again,
issue.
these aren't like brilliant performances, but I just want to push back on the idea that like loads of players were really bad. Like, and people saying even like in the first half, Foden was terrible. Foden was involved in some of our best play. Like Foden could have had an assist in the second half, or a Kanji, even that corner. Obviously got the 2 goals. I don't really know. Again, I don't really know where all the negativity's coming from. I suspect it's to do with results-based analysis, because for me, the second half was just as good as the first half from a City perspective. Even before we conceded the 2 goals, I thought that we attacked in a similar manner. I felt we defended in a similar manner. We still conceded a couple of not ideal chances. And that was even before the 2 goals conceded. So even at 2-0, I felt the performances were the exact same. So I was I just totally didn't agree with the assessment that we were poor, and I just don't know where it came from. I think like some people again in my chat were saying we can't lower the standards, blah 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 blah. Look, we're not going to win the treble, guys, and we're not the same team that won the four-peat. We've got world-class players like Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne who haven't performed to their levels this season. When you've got some of the best players in the world not performing to their levels, that tells you that it's not an individual problem. That tells you that there is a much wider issue at play. We've sort of got to accept where we are to an extent. LB mentioned the target is top 4. Now, away against Brentford is a hard place to go. I'm sorry if it sounds like Happy Clapper Central, but it just is. Brentford also, we haven't really touched on them yet, defended very well as well. We've got to accept that. Whenever Savio or Foden got the ball, there were 3 players around them. And again, people are saying, why can't they just dribble past them? You can't dribble past 3 players. There's got to be an understanding that Brentford did do well defensively, and we did do well to break them down, with that De Bruyne cross and Foden's goals, and LB's touching it. We weren't good enough from a box defending perspective, and that's not new information, because when Ruben Diaz isn't in the side, we look like dross. Hopefully Kusanov will improve that, but we'll have to wait and see if that is
Mate, honestly,
the case.
If I see one more person say about Kusanov that he's too aggressive, and you're watching a Kanji tonight, we need aggressiveness in this team. That's the problem.
Yes.
We're too passive as a defensive unit. Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo on our defensive line, bar probably Diaz, Stones, and to a certain degree Ake, are all far too passive. Yeah.
Yes.
You look at that. Have you watched that equaliser back? Akanji.
Yeah. No,
it's
so
not
good. It's ugly.
Sorry, as a defender at Manchester City, right, when you're winning 2-1, we've been trash for ages. We're not winning we're struggling to win football matches. Yeah, this could be a turning point. It's a 92nd minute. You have to go and win that header. I'm not just challenging him to try and put him off. I'm saying I'm winning this header and I'm getting this ball away from my box and I'm going to defend this goal with my life. What does he do? It's a little challenge. Nah, man, that's unacceptable, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's annoying because on the ball, I actually thought he was superb today.
Yeah. And I actually thought that for a lot of the game, again, outside of the goals, obviously, I thought that overall, like, Akanji did look a bit more aggressive than usual. It's still not good enough, as you say, but it's at least better than it has been. Just a fortune for DR. Again, thank you for the super chat. A truly great person never puts away the simplicity of a child. You know what that is code for? Trust the youth, trust in Kusanov, and trust in Hayes when they arrive here. And Diotto says, "I love this City downfall. Inject it, City till I die, though, bruh." Brilliant, sending mixed messages there. Not really sure what's happening. If you guys have got any thoughts for us, by the way, as we are going, feel free to pop them in the chat, of course. So yeah, in terms of how we set up, it was we had Nunes out at the right wing, which is interesting, but I think you and I are still in agreement. We really want to see his legs be used in midfield so that we can actually have some good form of counter-attacking defense. Outside of that, it was basically how you would expect. Bernardo was dropping alongside Kova. Then you had like had Foden going into the middle with Nunes pushing up to the right, so that allowed Foden and De Bruyne to operate together in the midfield, and that worked nicely, of course. Ultimately, we scored the 2 goals. We should have won the game. Pep, the changes. You've touched on the changes. I've just outlined there the lineup then. Would you have changed anything in respect of the lineup? What were your thoughts in the overall tactics, LB?
No,
and also just have a touch on the your grievances, RE, the changes, please.
Yeah, so at the start 11, I was kind of chill with it. I mean, he's got no real options. I don't think you can play Rico at the moment because you need that sort of solidity, so I'm chill with that. The start 11 was fine. I was a little bit like, ooh, should he play Doku on the wing and just play either Foden or De Bruyne in the middle and drop one of them? But in the end, on my predicted 11, that's what I went for. So I was happy with the starting 11, no problems there. And yeah, everything was going fine. And then as soon as he put Gundogan on, I called it at the time. I said, this is not good. And yeah, I just think that Gundogan submate was just atrocious. He can't move. So he can't close down players on the edge of the box. So players got time to cross it in. Yeah, so players got the ball in the edge of the box. If I've got legs, I can get out to you to stop you crossing it. He's got to pass it. He doesn't have the legs, so he can't get out to you. So that's how it's happening, man. I think it's the second goal. It comes from a shot, right? It comes from a shot from a guy who takes it past Gundogan. If Gundogan's got the legs and can stop him getting the shot never comes in. Something else happens. The goal never happens. And that's the problem. I don't understand. You've got Nico O'Reilly, who's faster, quicker, taller, more physical, better in the air. Literally there. He played really well against Salt, and he still refuses to use him. And his loyalty to Gundogan is just astounding when he just can't move. And it's not a Gundogan thing. It's not nothing about Gundogan. It's about Pep putting him on the pitch when he clearly can't do the job that we need.
It was.
I think I say this. Whilst he wasn't directly involved in the goals, he was indirectly involved in the goals. I think if he doesn't put Gundogan on, we win the match. That's what I think.
That's fair enough. I will disagree. I do think that it was weird, to be fair. I don't really understand what the thought process was there. When I saw Gundogan warming up, I was like, oh, Foden will come off. De Bruyne will come off. Gundogan will go to the more advanced position. I did think that was a weird change because Kovacic, even though he's not Rodri, obviously, he's still obviously better at doing that job than Gundogan is. I will say that much. That was confusing. What I will say is I think the change that maybe confused me more was the second one he made. When Foden came off, McAtee came on. Now, I agreed with taking Foden off because I wanted Jack Grealish to come on. Because that was, what minute was that? Was that the 80... We'd conceded 84th. So in that moment, I'm thinking, right, let's get Foden off and let's pop on a Jack Grealish. Basically, someone who can essentially time waste, who can win cheap fouls, who can dive if you need to, and, just rile, because he's great at riling up the opponents and also the home fans. And I like the idea that Pep feels confident enough to give McAtee the responsibility in that situation. And again, I'm not trying to have a go at McAtee here because I'm not at all saying that he's the reason why we lost. But what I will say is that McAtee did a sort of similar-ish thing against Feyenoord. I don't know if you remember it. It was 3-2. McAtee, I think in that game he was on the right wing and he tried to cross the ball and we lost it and it becomes an equaliser. Again, I'm not having a go at McAtee here. And I'm not saying, and the defence should have done better and Savio should have maybe closed the cross better,
I just think it's a weird decision.
Because
Grealish was there.
Yeah, exactly. And even it's the 90, we do so well. Savio does brilliantly well to kill 4 minutes. He's just dribbling around the opposition box. He's coming in from the right into the box. And we're not really trying to properly score, but we're sort of half threatening and we're in the box, so Brentford have to back off. We are still going to the corner. But it falls to McAtee, and clearly his eyes light up, and he goes, I can get the third goal here and kill it off in the 90th minute. And for me, again, not trying to have a go at McAtee, I just feel like we've got to have smarter game management there. There's still...
Got to go to the corner flag, aren't you?
Yeah, there's still... I know it's a decent opportunity to shoot, but it's still a tricky chance. Even if it was De Bruyne or Foden on that chance, I wouldn't back them to always score it. It's a tricky one. I just feel like go to the corner flag. And again, is that is that the lack of game management in McAtee. It just reminded me of, you remember Foden last season at Crystal Palace, where it's 2-1, 90th minute, he dribbles into 3 players.
Yeah.
Possession's turned over, he gives away a penalty. I know that's a more extreme version, but it just reminds me of that. And again, it might not be fair to McAtee, but I just wonder if Pep views that and goes, all you had to do was like keep it in the corner, and then 1 minute later we concede the equaliser. What blame do you put to McAtee, and is that sort of like another notch for Pep going, I don't trust you, mate? Or
no, it shouldn't be, because whilst yes, maybe he could have come to the corner flag, and that's what I probably would have been urging him to do. Like, bro, like we've got to do better defensively on the set piece. You know what I mean? We've got to stop the crosses. Akanji's got to do better. There's loads of stuff that happens after that. You are right on the Grealish thing, though. I mean, like, why Grealish didn't come on? He's almost a perfect player to have in that situation. You know, he can win a free kick and roll around. You know what I mean? Get players' butts, slow it down. He's got that experience as well. So clearly, for me, Grealish is out the door.
Yes,
he's out the door now. Well, I don't think he's going to leave now. I think it'll probably be a summer thing, but it's just the season's just not good, man. You know what I mean? There's no good feeling in it. Like, bro, it's just everything's weird, man. You got that Edison, that's happening. You got this Grealish thing now. You got the KDB contract. You got Foden's like not playing as good as he was last year. It's just weird, man. Like, it's just not nice environment, and he's putting Gundogan on when guy can't move. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just not a good feeling right now. And like I say, I'm starting to think we're not going to get top 4, mate. I'm starting to think we're not getting top 4.
What, based on today?
Based on the last 17 football matches, based on the fact we've still not signed a midfielder, based on the fact that we've got to play, who are our next fixtures? I'll tell you the fixtures.
Ipswich away, Chelsea at home.
Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, Forest, and Brighton. Right? We've won 4 games against the top 6 in the last 18 months.
Yeah, I'm going to respond to you. Let me just do these super chats. Apologies. Amar says, a big up to you, Amar. Thank you so much for the support. We all love Pep, but you can't keep selecting Frodo Baggins every game. I think that's in reference to Bernardo Silva. The guy offers nothing. A training cone would be better than Gundo. And Amar, your fortune from the Hall Fortune Cookie is... This is a really lovely day. Congratulations. So the fortune cookie's mugging you off there, Amar, I'm afraid to say. I think what Bernardo does isn't a sexy thing. I think that when you are playing Savio, Foden, Hall and Kevin De Bruyne, you've got to have someone there who is going to try to tie things together. And I think that's the idea of what Bernardo is. He obviously runs around to try to press. Well, I think that's the idea of him. Not saying that's good enough, but that is the concept of him. If you've got a lot of verticality there, you need some sort of horizontal work, and that's the idea that Bernardo is. Thank you so much for the super chat, Amar. Stephen says that's the same I said about Grealish with LB, 100%. Christo asks, didn't he put Grealish on instead of Gundo? Nope, not at all. But McAtee's better movement than the wingers. I'm not sure about that one. Niko Sarnov, absolutely. Facts checkers out. I thought Doku's bad decision making. What Savio showed me today floored me. 3 if not 4 times Haaland was there, but no assisting is boring. To be fair, he did also hit the post though, and he could have scored. He was very unlucky to not score a goal. So I don't really get the Savio hate personally. I think he had a good game, to be honest. I know that you wanted Doku to come on Facts Checker, but your reasoning for that was Doku is going to run in behind, and because there was a lot of space in the game. That's not Doku's game. Like, that's Savio's game. Savio is a player who will run in behind. One of the only times I've seen Doku running behind was against Salford. You know, when he got like the one of the assists, where he actually ran behind the left wing back. So I don't think that's the play. To be honest with you, I thought Savio was good. In fact, I thought basically every City player was good outside of, I mean, Akanji for the goals, not really good enough. You were just saying, LB, weren't you, that you weren't sure about getting top 4? And this, so don't necessarily disagree, but I don't think this is the game to base that on because again, I know you said there's no joy.
No,
it's an upset. You know, you don't like the
it's
season.
not this game. It's not
Oh,
this game I'm
okay,
basing
fine.
it on. It's if we do not get this midfielder in who can help us out defensively, we will continue to leak goals because our defense just there's no protection. So even if we get like these two, Huzanov and Vita Hayes, yeah, we get these two guys in, right? Hopefully these guys improve our back line, but there's no guarantee. They're only 18, so they might not improve us. They might need time. But let's just say be positive and let's say that they are going to improve our defense, right? The problem is because they get no protection. It's like a battering ram. Like every time the opposition attacks, it's always at the defense. There's no midfield that stops it. Whereas we put Rodri in there or any competent CDM, they take out probably 50% of attacks. So 50% of all attacks don't even get to the defense because the midfield stops it happening. And if you don't get your CDM in, that's going to continue happening. And we got Ipswich at the weekend. I'm seriously worried about that game. I'm not confident for that game at all. And then the facts are, yeah, we play Chelsea are a top 6 club, Arsenal are a top 6 club, we play Liverpool at a top 6 club, I play Tottenham that are a top 6 club, right? We've won 4 games in the last 18 months against top 6 clubs, so I'm not looking at many wins there based off historical evidence. Now, past performance is not an indicator of future performance. We might win them all. I'm just saying, based off of what we've done in the last 18 months, we're probably not going to win too many of them. The other games that are not technically top 6 clubs, Newcastle, their midfield will destroy our midfield.
Yes.
Forest away, they drew tonight, I think.
Yes.
Brilliant side. That's going to be a tricky game. And then Brighton, who press us like crazy. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, we'll get beat off Leicester, Palace, Everton. Like, our fixtures are crazy. And after that run, so let me just repeat it one last time. Ipswich, Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Spurs, Forest, Brighton. So after that run, yeah, we've got 9 games left. We probably won't be in the top 4 at that race. We've got 9 games left, including United away. And Amorim seems to be getting some decent results against top teams. We've got to go to Goodison, or if they're at the new stadium, I don't know if they'll be in the new stadium, but Goodison, whatever. We've got to play Villa. And I'm like, bro, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm looking at these fixtures. I'm looking at how we're playing. I'm looking at our defence and our midfield. I'm thinking, I don't know if we're getting top 4, mate. Now, maybe Mamouche comes in and we just start outscoring oppositions and we don't fix our defence and we just say, right, we're going to concede 2 goals a game. We're just going to score 3 or 4. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a CDM, but there's no links. There's no links to any CDM. So I don't know, man. I'm just worried that we're not going to get Champions League. And then if we don't get Champions League, they'll say, oh, we can't spend money because we've not got the Champions League money. And then it just spirals out of control.
Yeah, yeah. But before I get to that, just Echo Force has a question. What do we think happened to Grealish in midfield? He had a fantastic game. Then the mid one, the whole idea is scrapped. Yeah, I think that basically the Juventus game illustrated that he's still quite naive in terms of a central area. Clearly Pep doesn't feel like he's able to do that, to be honest. He seems to have settled on, I know it's only the last couple of games, but I do feel like on an average perspective, the last 2 Premier League games with that front 5, and it's slightly different with Nunes at right wing, but essentially, I feel like that there's a nice balance with the players who we have had on the pitch for the past couple of games in the Premier League. I know LB are down and whatnot, and I totally get that, and I do accept and agree that, you know, if we don't bring in a midfielder, then I don't really care if we bring in Okasanov. That's nice. Marmouche is nice. Hayes is nice. If we don't bring a midfielder, for me, it's a failure of a window, and we should be looking to do that. But I'm again, maybe it's copium, but I just feel like there is progress being made, and I know it's only baby steps. But
I agree.
But
I agree. There's progress.
We've got to deal with the baby steps because we are so bad. And again, the defense. We can't do anything about the defense. We can't do anything about the defense not having the requisite protection from the midfield. That is that, and we just have to wait for a competent midfielder to hopefully come in. What we can try to remedy at least is try to do better going forward, and I do feel like that has been happening for the past few games. In fairness, essentially, if we get Foden and De Bruyne on the pitch together, whoa, 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 shock, 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 horror, horror. You get two of your best forwards on the pitch at the same time. Surprise, surprise, you tend to play a lot better. Who'd have thunk it? That's how we won the title last season.
Yeah.
So let's have
So
more
I
of that.
completely agree with you that
Mhm.
that we are making progress, and I made a point of starting off with the positives when I
Sure.
started my thing by speaking about the fact that our attack is better, and I agree we're making baby steps. The point I'm trying to make and emphasize here is that we're running out of time. Now, people will
Yes.
say, "What do you mean? We're only halfway through the season." Well, we're already going to be 3 points off the top four. If Newcastle win their game, we'll be 3 points behind them. Yeah, and they're on unbelievable form. They've won 5 out of the last 5, and they're cooking on gas. Arsenal are now 5 points ahead of us with a game in hand. Forest is 6 points ahead of us, and Liverpool. Let's forget about Liverpool, right? Now, luckily, we might fluke it, and hopefully England gets this 5th spot, Champions League spot, yeah, with
Mm.
coefficient. But if we
Aston
get knocked
Villa to
out
win
of
the
the Champions
Champions
League,
League. Aston Villa to win the Champions League. Big up.
yeah, well, exactly. The thing is, if we get knocked out the Champions League group phase, that doesn't do us any favors. That's like a lose-lose situation. So we got to hope and pray that the 5th spot this year gets us Champions League, and we manage to fluke our way in. The point I'm making is yes, you're right. There are positives. Completely agree. We're making baby steps, but we're running out of time. And these next 6 or 7 games, baby steps will not be enough. We need giant leaps against Arsenal. We need giant leaps against even Chelsea, Caicedo, Palmer. These guys are going to ruin us apart. You know what I mean? Liverpool. Baby steps are not enough in those fixtures. And if we don't make big progress in those games, we'll lose a lot of them or draw, which draws will not be good if the likes of Newcastle keep winning. And then the final 9 games, the pressure will be on. We'll probably have to win all 9 to get in the top 4. That's my point. My point is that we're in an emergency situation. We're 6th. We need slightly more than baby steps now. Otherwise, we're going to miss out on that Champions League. Now, like I say, if we get a DM or we get like a decent midfielder that can just patch it up like a what they call like a plaster. Yeah, they won't be perfect. Yeah, they won't be no Rodri, but it'll stop 20% of the attacks. Yeah, instead of because at the moment we're basically stopping none of the attacks, right? Every time they defend, every time the opposition goes forward, they're just attacking our defense. There's no midfield. If you put like say you get Edison from Atalanta, is he the perfect player? No, but he'll probably prevent 25 or 30% of the attacks. Well, that'll make a huge difference. We'll probably go from conceding 2 or 3 goals a game to maybe conceding 2 to 1. And all of a sudden, you start winning games 2-1. And that's what we're not doing. So that's my issue, man. It's with these games coming up are massive, and baby steps won't be enough.
No, sure. I guess I'm just looking at it as also the idea is that Ruben Diaz will come back into the side, which will help us. You mentioned box defending earlier. That will help us from a box defending perspective. Even Kusanov coming into the side, I wouldn't mind a back 4, which has actually got Kusanov and Diaz in the same team.
100%. I'd stick them both in there.
I think that would be really interesting as well. 100%. I was told to look at City Extra. Omar Marmoush to Man City is expected to be finalised in the coming days. That's from Paletti Goal. That was the tweet there.
Well, it's hilarious. If he's in the team tonight, we probably win the game. The amount of chances we got into great positions, the amount of chances
Marmoush,
we created.
I got confused for a second there. Yeah.
Yeah, if Marmoush plays today, we probably win the game. I mean, he scored again tonight and got another assist. He's the guy's clinical. Like if he plays today in an attacking role, we probably win that match with the amount of chances that we had.
Maybe. But of course, we need to, as we touched on, we need to make sure we stop conceding. At least a goal a game. Never mind 2. If you score 2 goals at Brentford, that should be enough to win the game. This is why, I don't understand when people's first port of call was Savio wasn't good enough, and Haaland should have done better, and blah blah blah. And that sort of thing. It's like, right, but we were 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, or however long it was. That's enough to win the game. That tells us that the issue is defensive, as indeed it has been all season. And LB and I have been telling you all season the biggest issue at City has been defensive. Whether it's not even necessarily the specific defenders, it is the defensive construct of this team. Luke says, congrats on 20k. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, that shout out as Becca Stam for that. LB says, LB, if we don't get Champions League money, we still have the Club World Cup. Yeah, but we just need the Champions League money, and we also need it to be bribing players to come play for us as well. If we want the
Plus,
creme
it's
de
just
la creme.
embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing,
too,
isn't it? We just
yeah.
won. We won the treble 2 years ago. We won the league last year, and then not qualifying for the Champions League. That's just embarrassing, man. And it shows you how bad the summer was. So we've got to get in it. We've got to get in the Champions League.
That is a bare minimum. Not sure exactly what the coefficient situation is in terms of 5th place, but I don't want to have to rely on that. Let's just try to get the 4th place and see about that. Chris says, are we confident Pep's going to pick a young defender over the existing more experienced defenders? It wouldn't surprise me if they both sign and we still play the same defense. I think it depends, Chris. I think that if Diaz, let's say for argument's sake, you know, Kusanov has now played, you know, enough minutes to be a potential starting player. I think that if Diaz isn't available for a game, I don't think Pep has hesitation in starting Kusanov, because I think he'll know. Again, we're talking about all the issues. Pep knows the issues more than anyone else. He knows how bad we are defensively. He knows how bad we are in respect of defending our own box. And he'll know that a back four, which doesn't include one of Diaz or Kusanov, is not going to be good enough in that respect. So I do have the faith that he would pull that trigger and he would absolutely be starting one of those players. Whether all at the same time, that's a different conversation. But certainly at least one of Diaz or Kusanov. You only need one of them to massively take the defensive floor to another level in that respect. That is a thing. John says, I'm an ex-lawyer. Excellent stuff. Kusanov can play right back. I don't agree. Drew says he doesn't seem to know Gundo's an issue. Yeah, that is an interesting situation. This is the LBs touched on that. Didn't agree with him coming on, but I'm not quite as convinced that it was the reason why we lost. But it's certainly a weird one. That is for sure. Anything else that I want to say just in respect of the game specifically before we talk about like a general thing? Just like trying to go through the players in my head. Again, I thought Nunes was fine, especially because it's...
What's your thoughts on Ortega long term? Do you think he's good enough to be Manchester City's number one?
You know I don't think he's good enough long term. No shots. No,
I don't think he is good enough number
no.
one. It's not. I don't think he's like shocking. He's a very good goalkeeper, but I don't think he's good enough to be a Manchester City number one goalkeeper.
No.
And I said to the chat, I guarantee you he's not the goalkeeper by 2026, 2027. He might be number one next season, because there's so much work to do elsewhere. And we've got to buy a backup goalkeeper because Edison's leaving. But he will not be our goalkeeper in 2026, 2027 because he's not good enough.
No
and
chance.
You'll see it. You'll see it. Like today, I think his distribution is not at Edison's level.
No.
I think he should probably do better with the second goal, the equaliser. It's not. Watched it. I think he should do better with that. So then you call it into his actual shot stopper. And you're like, well, this is what the people say he's mint at, and I think he should do better with it personally. So yeah, I think actually it might be a good thing that we give him for the rest of the season, because we can see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's good enough. Let's give him to the end of the season, and then make a decision in the summer. But I don't think I think he's a solid number two, a really good number two.
Yeah.
He could probably be a number one at a club, Europa League or whatever. But a City, I don't think he's quite good enough.
No, yeah, he's a number one on the Bristol stool charts. He is a. Do you know what that is? The Bristol stool chart, right? It is. Everyone right now, go and Google the Bristol stool chart. It is essentially a medical thing which categorizes your feces. What a one is a very hard pellet. So you're saying he's a solid number two, and I'm saying he's like if he was a shit, he'd be a little rabbit pellet. Do you get the joke? Oh, that's a really shit joke, I know, but I thought I'd say it anyway. Just on the keeper, this is the lad who I'm going to be recommended. I will be doing a video on him maybe next month after the current situation has died. Lucas Chevalier, he is the Lille goalkeeper. He is 23 years old, so he fits the age profile. He is one of the highest volumes in respect of passes across Europe. Also in respect of his shot-stopping numbers, they are elite. So in respect of, I haven't got the exact data in front of me, but in respect of, goalkeepers under 28, I think he's in the top 5 for objective shot stopping, and it's only Diogo Costa of Porto who surpasses him in respect of true passing numbers.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to watch him, because every time I watch a player that's linked with City, they're shit. I want.
He's not linked with City. I just want him for City. There's a difference.
Yeah, I know, but if he's got that stats that you're saying, City he'll probably be on City's list, innit? If them stats, because City will take the data into account.
Sure. Yeah, I think I don't know how legitimate the source was. I think I saw something like yesterday that, one of those stereotypical things, PSG, Chelsea, City, all interested in Lille's Chevalier. So he is the real deal for me. And I'm going to scout him a little bit more, but I'm very confident that he should be City's Ederson replacement. There's lots of good players at Lille. I'm on a bit of a league kick right now. I'm recommending a lot of French league players.
I see this.
Yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed, to be honest. So and also there's another Lille player I like, Diakite. He's a very good player, right back, who can also play centre back, can even go into midfield, potentially as a defensive midfielder. So yeah, I do totally agree with that, LB.
How old is that Chevalier guy?
23 or 24, I believe.
Wow, that's young.
And yeah, exactly. In fact, let me just because you brought up the Ederson situation, let me bring up my data situation, because I want to.
Data. You got the data.
Yeah, my data. It's a service I pay real money for and everything, so I can actually scout players for you guys. That's how committed I am to the cause. So if I search for goalkeepers, and I'm going to compare it across the top 7 leagues, because that also includes the Porto, Acosta, who's like a big name, a Diogo. Is it Diego Costa? You know the player I mean?
Yeah, I watched him one time against United, and he made 2 goalkeeping errors.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, wasn't he also? No, I'm thinking of someone else. Never mind. Yeah. So if I pop in, goalkeepers from the top 7 leagues, and if let's say, if we're talking about an upgrade on Ederson, I love Ederson, but we all know that Ederson's weakness is his shot stopping, isn't it? Isn't it?
I don't think it's as bad as people make out.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's certainly a weak side of his game.
Yes.
And what you say is, when everything's going fine, you take that, don't you? You say,
yes.
We know that, but what he gives us on the ball is better. When it starts going south, like it is now, all of a sudden it's like, shit, we actually need someone who's better at shot stopping.
Yes, exactly. So if I just say the top, if I say I want a goalkeeper who is in the top, let's say top 15% for shot stopping, so they're in the 85th percentile. That means the top 85%. I'm also going to make it so that they are no older than 28, because we're looking for a long-term keeper.
Yeah, keepers can play legit up until 34. So you're 28, 6 years easy. So that's chill.
Exactly. Yeah, that's chill. So immediately,
and that's probably like a bit strict. That isn't it?
No, indeed. Yeah, we could even go one step further. But you'll notice, you'll note, well, you won't because the chart's not in front of you. Basically, like I know Maignan, from AC Milan, butchered his pronunciation. Apologies. He's actually older than I realised. I think he's 29 years old. So he's not even a long-term keeper, the AC Milan keeper. And also he's injury prone or whatever. So I don't really want him. So immediately, you are looking at a list which comprises 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're looking at 12 goalkeepers across Europe's top 7 leagues already. So there's not a lot of goalkeepers we can pick here.
How many did you say?
12.
Wow.
Even then, and that's only looking at age and the shot-stopping numbers. So we also need a goalkeeper who can do a lot of passing. So I'm just going to put in quantity. I'm going to say you need to be in at least the top 50%. Yeah? At least.
Of what?
Of just general passing. Not even like successful passing, just general passing. So just like passing generally. Because the goalkeeper we need is going to have to be doing a lot of passing.
We basically want a goalkeeper that's comfortable with passing.
Yes, exactly.
Are you then going to do another filter on top of that where it's successful passes?
I can do short pass percentage completion rate if you'd like. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're doing quantity of passes, but that doesn't tell us how good they are at actually passing the ball.
Exactly. We can have a look at short pass percentage. So if we go to, I don't know, again, even the top 50%, let's be really... let's be... really baby about it. There are only 4 keepers now. 4. One of them plays for Liverpool, and is Kelleher, so that's a no-no.
Wow. Kelleher, imagine getting Kelleher.
Yeah. This is based on this season, by the way. So that realistically means there are 3 options. There's Chevalier, who have outlined, sorry. There is Petrovic, who plays for Strasbourg, and there is Diogo Costa, who plays for Porto.
That Petrovic, was that the guy who was at Chelsea?
It might be. The name rings a bell, doesn't it?
Because I remember when he was at Chelsea, and I thought he was a pretty decent goalkeeper. So then why did they loan him out?
Let me double check. Sorry,
I'm pretty sure he was.
Sorry, guys. I know this is deviated from the chat. We will get back to the game. I just thought this was... Yes, you are correct. Yes, Chelsea's. And he's actually... Oh, wait, is he actually still a Chelsea player?
Probably.
He's on loan. Okay, so we can probably scratch him off as well. Because...
So it's who?
So realistically, there are 2 options if we're not including Chevalier and Costa. So there are 2 options. Chevalier is 2 years his junior, and he's Costa's technically got a better shot stopping amount, but Chevalier ranks in the top 13% for short pass completion, for example. So
the one game I've watched of Costa, I promise you, the one game I've watched of Costa is when he played against Man United and he made 2 absolute stinkers and cost Porto 2 goals.
That's why I want Chevalier. So let's get him. Go do some Lille scout-alongs and be impressed with him because he is very good.
If I start doing Lille scout-alongs, mate, I'll be letting everything in.
And this is the big thing. PSG are apparently in for him. So if we're going to act, what better time to act now if Edison is leaving in the summer? Sorry, that was a little bit of a deviation. Apologies for that. Hopefully you still found that entertaining, guys. That was a bit of a sneak preview in terms of the scouting. I will be doing an analysis video where I will be going into that in more depth and then scouting the player. And basically the idea is how to replace Edison. So this website I was using was DataMB, but it's the pro version. So you do have to pay for the stats I was looking at, I'm afraid. But if you want, I think it's like €8 a month. It's very good. It's where I got some of my stats for my videos. Would recommend it. They don't sponsor me, but they are very good, so I would recommend it. Going back to Donnarumma he can as far away from us as possible because that guy's the opposite of passing and distribution. Yes, going back to the match for Una Momento and just City in general. I think were there any other individuals you wanted to touch on? I know you brought up Ortega. He was all right in the game, I thought. I don't think anyone. We've touched on the Kanji. I don't think anyone was bad. I don't think.
We give Ake his praise because I thought he was fantastic.
Well, it was at least 2 goal line clearances, wasn't it? Like 2 certain goals he denied. And
he's obviously still not fully fit, right? Yeah. So that his performance was absolutely amazing. Credit to Nunes. I thought he had a good game. He's not a right back, so he would make mistakes. He's not going to be faultless. And I think if you think he's going to be faultless, then you're delusional. He's a midfielder, which doesn't play midfield because Pep doesn't like him in midfield. So I think he played okay. Thought Haaland's hold-up play was pretty solid.
I thought that was one of the best I've ever seen him do, you know.
Yeah, it was good. But he still had 2 chances, which he should have done better.
Yes.
KDB was fantastic. Not just his chance creation. He looked quick when he was moving with the ball. So that's a really positive sign that maybe he's getting some fitness and looking a bit sharper and quicker. Because I tell you what, if he can play like that every week, then don't matter what our defense does. Yeah. If Haaland's there, we're cooking on gas. That's. So I thought Savio was good, but does need to improve that final touch. I think he's just getting a lot of criticism because our team's not performing. So, usually we let players have like a year and develop before people start really cooking him. But I think because we're not winning football matches, he's under much more pressure. But I think he's playing really well. And I think Bernardo's a big one.
Sorry, the chat are exposing you here. You gave Haaland a 3 out of 10.
I give him a 3.5 out of 10. Because ultimately, the way I see it is his job to put the ball in the back of the net and he had 2 chances, which he could have done that and didn't.
I think that's wild, I thought that was one of his... That was one of my favourite games of Haaland's, And
I completely agree. Off the ball, holding the ball up, I thought he was really, really good. But ultimately, he still had 2 chances that he didn't score that he should have done better with, especially the header. He's got to put that either side of the goalkeeper and it's a goal.
No, I agree. I agree he should have done better, but I can't ignore because the amount of times where Brentford had like 6 players in our basically in our defensive third, and we were trying to play out from the back, and Ortega, we touched on Ortega's distribution. The only solution, the best solution, was to go long. So that meant that Haaland had to be absolutely switched on, because without him, Brentford were just because we know that our midfielders aren't physical enough to hold off in respect of when a physical midfield presses us. So we were so reliant on Haaland from a hold-up play perspective.
And he did it really well, but he still missed 2 chances that he should have bagged.
He did, but I don't think that constitutes a 3 out of 10. That's 3 out of 10 means...
3.5.
Now, 3 out of... We'll round it up then. 4 out of 10 is a bad game, because 5 out of 10 is the average. 4 out of 10 is a bad game. You're saying Haaland played badly today. I don't think that's fair.
What I'm saying is, yeah, I value Haaland based off of goals. I'm very consistent. If he doesn't get chances, I won't give him a low rating because he's not got chances, right? Today he had 2 chances. Both chances, I think he should score based off the quality of the player is. And I think if you asked him tonight, Haaland, do you think he should have scored those 2 goals? Those 2 chances? I think he'd say, yeah. That's his job. I completely accept that outside the box, holding the ball up, he was fantastic. But his job is to score goals, and he had 2 chances where he should have done that.
4 out of 10 tells me you think he played badly.
No. It's nothing to do with his play. I judge Haaland on goals. I rate him differently to people because that's his job. His job is to score goals, and he didn't today. He had 2 chances and he didn't score them.
What if he created goals?
What would you? Well, yeah, that's fine. His job is to score goals, create goals. That's his job. Is his striker.
But he helped create chances with his. I'd have given him a 7.
No,
at least. I'm knocking off a couple points. I think it's at least a 7. I might even push him up to an 8, to be honest with you.
No. An 8. He missed 2 big chances.
Yeah, but he was wonderful. He got us up the pitch. He was getting well into.
His job is to score.
No. It's not just to score though. It's also to help City in the facets.
No, he did. But his job, he had 2 chances today, which he should have scored.
Our job, one of his jobs, is to score goals.
It's his main job.
Depends on the context of the game.
No, don't do that, man. It's his main job. If you said to Haaland, what's your main job in this team? He'll say, score goals.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that if he's doing other bits of the game well, that we have to say he played poorly.
No. But I'm not. The rating is judged based off his missed chances.
Okay. Well, forget your... I rate him based off this. Just rate him generally in terms of his overall performance today. I don't want you to say...
ignoring the 2 missed chances.
No, I'm not saying ignore the 2 missed chances. I'm just saying that I don't want your only thing to focus on. I don't want your only parameter to be, I judge him on scoring goals. Just judge his overall play today. You can
his overall play brilliant.
You can include the 2 missed chances.
Bro, that's why I gave him a 3.5. If he didn't do the hold-up play, he got a 0. Yeah, his hold-up play saved it. That's why he got a 3.5 in the first place. If he didn't do the hold-up play, he would have got a 0 out of 10.
That's crazy.
He missed the 2 chances.
It's at least a 6. At least a 6.
If I ignore the missed chances, yeah, brilliant. Hold-up play today was fantastic. But his job is to score goals and he missed 2 chances. The stats don't lie. If you got a sofa score, 2 big chances missed. He scores those goals, we win the game.
I think you're harsh.
But to be fair, that's how I judge Haaland, and I'm very consistent. So if he doesn't get chances, right? So some games he'll go through the 90 minutes and not have a single shot because we don't create him a chance. I'll never give him less than a 6 in that situation because I say I'm not giving him less than a 6 because we've not created him a chance. But if he gets chances and he scores them, he gets higher rating. If he gets chances and misses them, he gets lower rating. That's the way I do it.
Okay. Who was your man of the match in your play ratings, by the way? Was it Kevin?
Kevin De Bruyne, give him a 9.
That's fair. Vasco says, City's turning me into an alcoholic. Lads, these days, all I've been thinking about are the bloody ales. Well, big up to you. Don't drown your sorrows, though. Only do that to a certain extent within the confines of the units you should have in a week. Your fortune is... the world may be your oyster, but that doesn't mean you'll get its pearl. Wow, crazy. Think, do not be too idealistic is what that fortune's saying. LB's right, says Foden. Is that the real Phil Foden? There you go. Good night, Callum. 100% says Ryan. There you go. People are agreeing with you in fairness. So there you go. I miss Aguero says Yaya, who doesn't yet. Ripped Honeybook, yeah, absolutely. The one time LB joins the stream and I miss it, you can go back and rewind if you guys have missed. It's absolutely fine. If you guys enjoyed it, then maybe I mean, I know you. It's not like it's new. You've had it on LB's channel for a long time, but if you like it on my channel, then maybe we can sometimes do it every now and then. You know, that might be a fun thing. Cruel says, our problems are midfield and defence, and people are missing Aguero. Hey, you're allowed to miss whoever you want, but yeah, absolutely, you know, Aguero wouldn't really solve our problems. I'm just conscious of time because it is 20 minutes past midnight. I don't want to keep you for too long. Maybe like another 10 or so minutes. Is that okay?
Cool by me.
Okay, cool. Could we please be liking the video, please, by the way, chaps? It is
I'm just
free.
going to go and get an iron brew. I'll be literally a minute.
Great idea. There are over 500 people watching, and we're not even on 250 likes. I feel like I'm being attacked. I'm being assaulted personally with that lack of a viewer to like ratio. So if you guys could please make sure to leave a like. It is free and it does really help support the channel. We're giving you lovely, wonderful content. So please make sure to leave a like on the video, guys. Thank you so much. Get your thoughts in, by the way, guys. We'll be live for until half midnight, because Mrs. Nobbins is, you know, wanting to go to bed at some point. So that is a thing. So get your final thoughts in terms of, like, you know, is there another like final topic that you like us to touch on? You know, whether that's like the games coming up, whether it's like something we missed from the game itself. You know, should I have spoken about another player more? Let me know. Jaden says, I'm absolutely fuming over the result. Please tell me it's all going to be okay. I can't confirm it's all going to be okay, but what I can say is that that is the most fun I've had watching City all season, is what I will say. Now, was it the result that we wanted? No, obviously not. I felt Brentford were good value for the draw. I still maybe think that, again, we could have won the game, but I really enjoyed watching City today. Well, technically yesterday. It was entertaining. It was end-to-end. I'm amazed it turned end-to-end, because at the start it was City versus a low block, and then all of a sudden City were almost like, nah, sod this. And we just like turned it into a basketball game, which was interesting as a strategy. It did mean it gave us a lot of opportunities. We weren't clinical enough. It also made us very frail. An interesting strategy. Not sure how good of a long-term strategy it is. We'll find out. We'll find out it in time. I think someone had a question for LB. I've missed it now. What a shame. If the person had a question for LB, if you want to pop it in again, that'd be helpful. I think I missed it. 24-hour LBins, yeah, brilliant. Fuskan says, aside from ball carrying and press resistance, what does Kovacic bring? It's an irrelevant question though, Fuskan, because it's him or Gundogan realistically, or I guess Jacob Wright, isn't it? But
yeah, well, that's not going to happen, so
no.
that's pointless, isn't it? So it's either Kovacic or Gundogan, and let's be honest, everyone's picking Kovacic.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a fine question to ask, but it's almost irrelevant at this point, because it's just a thing. Musty, thoughts on Foden ghosting again? Shut up. I hate you, Musty. By the way, today Foden, I don't even think that was his third best game this season. I thought the Bournemouth game was better. I thought the West Ham game was better. And I thought the Brighton game was better, in my view. I do not believe in results-based analysis, and I'll not be gaslit otherwise. I don't know what your thoughts on that were, LB, but
My memory's like a fish, so I can't remember anything that happened in the past.
reasonable.
However, today, I thought it was all right. Yeah, I thought it was okay. Don't think it was amazing, but yeah, okay. He's definitely better than he was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when he was just ghosting on the pitch sometimes. He's actually getting on the ball. He's trying to get on the ball. He's trying to make things happen. So yeah, that's positive. And again, I think he'll just slowly but surely get better and better. You know what I mean? And if we can get him better and better, we get Kevin De Bruyne better and better. We get Haaland firing. We get Savio keep on cooking. You know, we'll start scoring goals, and then it's just a case of, will our defense stop being crap? Even if they just be semi crap.
I was gonna say the
That'll
answer to
help
that
us.
is no. They won't stop. They won't stop.
Probably not.
Won't
Probably
stop
not,
till they
but,
get enough. Thoughts on Submendi to Arsenal, asks unknown. My thoughts are that they don't need another defensive midfielder right now. I know the idea is to replace Partey, but so what would the midfield be? Zubimendi, Rice, Ødegaard. You'll have to forgive me if that doesn't strike me with fear in before they win, the Premier League and go invincible. That's not that impressive. I can't lie to you. I'm assuming they play Rice in the 8 in that sense. I think that's a waste. I think that's a weird situation, but hey ho. Slap Yoshko in the 6 as Musty, brilliant. Slap Edison in the 6, yeah, amazing. Our goalkeeper, by the way. Average game in terms of performance, however, it's good to see him scoring again. We need that, says Crawl.
Well, it's one of the three. It's one of the three major problems. Is now starting to improve. The other two, still horrendous. But at least we're scoring goals, because now what will happen is we might not lose games. We might start drawing games.
Yeah.
Because previously we weren't scoring goals.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
Losing. So now we might draw some games. So at least if we're getting a point,
yeah,
it's better than not.
I was going to disagree with this, by the way. First half, Foden was very good. He was the reason why we created that Nunes chance out on the right side. Should have had an assist for Akanji. Could have even had an assist from the corner. Obviously scored the goals as well. Tidy helped generate the chance for Carvalho on the edge of the box as well. I don't agree that the performance was average, to be honest with you. I actually thought.
What would you give him on a player rating out of 10?
8.
I give him an 8.
Yeah.
I think at 8.2 I give him.
Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, less of that. Foden wasn't amazing. Stay 8 out of 10. Depends how you define an 8 out of 10. I'd say 9 out of 10 is like, again, we're splitting the hairs here. I feel like 9 out of 10 is technically amazing. Foden's not a great player. Yeah, fairs, Lord Rodri. Last season must not have happened. Crazy. We're playing Ipswich again. Savio hat-trick. Anyone says blue. There we go. Right, another 5 minutes, guys, and I will let LB go, and I'll also let Mrs. Nobbins go to bed as well. Right, okay, this is an interesting point, and I'm going to call you out here, Lizzie. I'm going to call you out here.
I thought you were going to call me out then.
No, I'll call you out as well. Right, okay, LB. How many times have you and I sat on LBins and said, we are absolutely clapped at generating chances from set pieces?
Oh, our set piece coach should be fired.
Because we are crap at generating chances from set pieces, correct?
Apart from when Foden takes them.
Right. So, before Foden became our corner taker out on that side, and indeed the free kick taker, you would agree with me that basically didn't matter what we did, we were shit. Essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. And people always throw the stats up of, we scored the most goals. We scored second or third most goals.
It's because of volume.
Set pieces. Yeah. No one ever shows the conversion rate, which is the one that I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So this is why, Lizzie, this comment, I'm sorry, is a silly comment to make. Because you can't say how low can we go, we shouldn't be counting set pieces, when we are gagging for good set piece delivery. We are gagging for someone to be able to take corners well. So you saying that this to me suggests that we shouldn't count it. But that winner against Wolves seemed pretty real to me. With that corner, and all those chances that we've generated from corners this season that sadly Haaland's not put away, or Akanji's not put away, or Carvalho's not put away, they all seem pretty real to me in respect to chances. So I don't actually know what this comment means. It's the same thing with when people are trying to degrade Saka this season, and they say, oh, but he's only creating from corners. So he's creating massive chances from corners on a consistent basis. That's not luck. That's a talent, and that is a skill. And guess what? It's working. Arsenal are the best team in the league for corners and set-piece goals. Because of that fact, we are now a threat in respect of corners. So you're damn right I'm going to count set-pieces, and everyone should be counting set-pieces. I have no idea why you wouldn't count set-pieces, because it's still a created opportunity, and it's a set play. We keep saying how we cry about not being good at them, but when I try to big it up, apparently that's not a legitimate thing to say. I just
Nah,
think
it's
that's
facts.
weird. You know.
It's facts. It's facts.
Yeah. Masterton says Omar's a mistake. We could get Yildiz for 60 to 70.
I don't think Mamouche is a mistake, mate.
No, that's
I
crazy.
don't think it's a mistake. What I seen at the weekend, bro, this guy was class. Scored again tonight, another assist. By the way, he can take set pieces. So you have him on the left and you take Foden on the right.
Yeah, and he can also score penalties as well. So another good.
And then put Kevin De Bruyne on the edge of the box, man.
Oh yeah. Last few comments, guys. I'm genuinely curious to know how many headers were scored from corners in the last 5 years. Can't be too many. Sadly, Kusanov does not help us out in that respect.
John Stones is really the only threat we have.
Well,
and Ake to a certain degree.
Yeah. Well, Unknown says here, our set pieces come from Stones and Foden. Stones is the one, really. Gavardio, to be fair, has been chipping in, I feel like, a little bit in a way. But there we go. But Lizzie, a game is open play and set play. Again, that's a silly thing to say. If someone does good work from set play, then that has to be counted in their game. That you don't stop assessing just because it's a set play. How many set plays? Isn't it something like 33% of goals come from set plays? So what you're saying is a third of a player's game doesn't count before a ball's even kicked. That's a mental way to look at it. It's a mental thing. LB Bozo got 2 assists. What? Oh, was that in respect to Marmouche? I don't know. There we go. Don't call LB a Bozo, you fraud. Performance-wise, it should include the whole performance. Yeah, I don't really get that logic. Last couple of things, guys. Like, literally 2 more minutes. And then we will wrap it up. Again, thank you guys so much for all the support. This is lovely. Let's get to see if we can get up to 250 likes. Come on, get it up here. LB, you need to do this, mate. This helps get the likes up. Why is LB airing me? Is he disconnected? Oh my god, he's actually disconnected. I thought he was just airing me. Crazy. What's going on? Where's he gone? Unless he's just playing a game. I thought he was just ignoring me. I was like, why do you hate me? He might be. It's absolutely fine if you can't come back. I'll just text him saying, don't worry about joining back. It's fine. LB's frozen, guys. L's in the chat for frozen LB. L's in the chat for frozen LB. Yeah, I don't get that, Sam. I think that's mental logic, personally. Guys, feedback on today's stream. Really hope you have enjoyed it. I'm not used to hosting that. No, Lizzie, that's not what I'm saying. That's no. Straw man. Oh my goodness me. Straw man. That is not what I said. When you're assessing a performance, you have to take everything into account. You're saying I basically don't count dead ball actions. That's insane. That's the point. Let me know if you enjoyed the show. Really hope you did. Apologies that not apologies because it's so late. It just is so late. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. We can maybe get LB on more if you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you did. I have some content coming out. Hopefully this week I'll hopefully be able to get the Marmouche analysis out. I haven't properly started working on the editing yet, so that will take some time, but bear with me. I'm hoping to get it out by the end of this week, maybe the start of next week. We shall see. They do take a lot of hours, so please bear with me there. But hopefully it's worth the wait. Lizzie, that's not what I said. Again, you're straw manning, mate. You're straw manning. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's insane to say you shouldn't count set play, which was your opening gambit. Let's not change the rules of engagement here. Yes, let's not change the rules of engagement. We can't, in one instance, cry about not being good at set pieces, and then in the other instance, not appreciate when someone actually is good at set pieces. That is the madness thing to do. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to end the show. My face is here now. Thank you, everyone, and I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye.